Okay, guys, today we would want to continue with the history of physiological psychology. We want to talk about some little contributions that led to the beginning of this course we call physiological psychology. So we understand that before this field of psychology, this branch of psychology called physiological psychology came up, it has been under the field of physiology, right? Several physiologists like Hermann Helmholtz, Gustav Fechner, Ernst Weber. Yes, Ernst Weber. These persons has taken time to study some physiological processes and explanations of behavior. According to Robert 1981, right? Yes. According to Robertson 1981, Aristotle can be regarded as the father of physiological psychology. Reason because he has studied these psychological phenomena like behavioral phenomena in biological terms. Yes, Aristotle attempted such. Yes, so he began this by observing and classifying in his observations in areas like memory, sleep, dreams, and even learning. Yes, so Aristotle have attempted looking at the biological explanation to this psychological aspect or construct such as learning, dream, sleep, even memory, right? Yeah, so that's why according to Roberts 1981, Aristotle is regarded as the father of physiological psychology. However, modern physiological psychology safely rely on the application of physiological measures of manipulation of animals. Yes, physiological measures of several activities or experiments done with or manipulations, like I said, with animals, right? Yes. Another pioneer name is Shepherd Francis. Yes, he is another name we will look out for. He's one pioneer named Shepherd Francis, right? He's one of them that has been created to be having like making physiological psychology as a distinct area. Yes, he secured the autonomy. He's one of the pioneer names that really made it an independent field, right? Because of his work in 1902. In 1902, the name of the book is Effect of Frontal Lobe Lesion on Simple Learning Tasks. Effect of frontal lobe lesion on simple learning tasks. Yes, that is the name of the book, 1902 by Shepherd Francis. When we go ahead in the next video, we'll understand what is lesion, right? We're going to be talking about that soon, right? So the work, this book really gave him it credited him as the founder of physiological psychology. Because of this, his published work in 1902, it made him to be regarded or credited him as the father of physiological psychology. But remember, like I said, Aristotle had done something like that initially and all of those things, but this work in 1902 by Shepherd Francis. So as a matter of fact, Shepherd Francis is regarded or is credited as the father of physiological psychology, right? So meanwhile, before him, there are other scholars that have had little contribution, just like I said, Aristotle and others, right? There are others such as Hermann Ebbinghaus. In 1885, he has shown how to measure learning and memory in human. Yes, Hermann Ebbinghaus have tried that. He's a German physiologist. Yes. Then in 1889, American psychologist Edward Thorndike, Yes, Edward Thorndike, E.L. Thorndike has done such. He used animal subjects to also measure learning and memory. That's 1989 by E.L. Thorndike. Then in the early 20th centuries, yes, Russian physiologist. Oh, this one is popular. Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov, right? That is around 1904, 1909 in his lab. Yes, he did all of these unconditioned reflexes and worked, unconditioned reflex like salivation during food, and then he was able to do a lot of physiology and how these things could be paired and a lot of things, and learning will take place, right? That's not our interest here, but we are talking about Ivan Pavlov as one of the contributors, another physiologist, a Russian physiologist that had a say in the beginning of physiological psychology. Carl Lashley, yes, Carl Lashley is under the 1929, who started tracing what's it called? He called it search for experiences in the brain. These are psychological constructs, but these are people that all started or attempted searching for these things in, let's say, biological or physiological aspects or dimension. Yes. So this is, according to Carl Lashley, he called it search for the engram. Search for the engram. That is Carl Lashley. He worked with Shepard Franz and later took over the investigation of the mechanisms of memory, of memory functions of the brain. Yes, he took over, yes, the investigation and mechanism of several memory functions of the brain. Yes, that is Carl Lashley. There's a lot of things about him, but not necessarily in this video, so we'll continue. But his work is majorly anatomical. When we talk about physiological psychology, there are two things you should remember: anatomy and physiology. So when we talk about anatomy, brain anatomy, for example, we're talking about the parts of the brain, where they are located, the forebrain, the hindbrain, all of those things, right? But when you talk about physiology, what is the function of any aspect of those parts you are talking about, right? Or you are identifying and then localizing their positions, right? So Carl Lashley's work was more anatomical, yes, and he focused on assessing this behavior. Yes, this behavior, how this behavioral effects could lead when maybe a part of the brain is removed. How will it affect the behavior of an individual? So one of his finding was on learning. Yes, very important contribution was on learning, but not only on learning, but also in perception and motivation. That is Carl Lashley. So by 1940s, yes, 1940s, electrophysiological studies, which we are going to talk about in the next video. Yes, electrophysiological activities, computer activities has come in, and they are making waves already. So a lot of pictures, tantalizing pictures, interesting pictures, they could produce it at that point, pictures of the brain and the activities of the brain, even the anatomy of the brain. So in 19th and in 20th century, that is when these scholars in the Western world finally accepted, yes, that is when they accepted that the brain is the organ, let's say the nervous system, right, is the system that coordinates behavior, yes, or that control behavior. That was in the 19th century and the 20th century that the Western world agreed that indeed the brain is the controller and the coordinator of several behavior. Yes. So yeah, we have talked about phrenology. There's no need talking about it again, right? So what again are we going to talk about? We know that it was the activity of these phrenologists anyways that showed initially the function of the cerebral cortex, though, but it's no longer in fact, it was even rejected at that point. We don't we don't we don't try to see. One thing they do in phrenology is trying to look which part of the brain is responsible for one significant behavior. But you and I know that, for example, when you are engaging in sleep behavior, you know all your parts of the brain is responsible. All the parts of the brain is active. That's why they rejected that localization phenomena as propounded or introduced, suggested by the phrenologists, which I said they are now pseudoscience. Yes, they rejected those things and they said no. As I'm talking now, it's not just the broca area that is responsible for language formation. There are my hippocampus, where I retrieve the information I'm giving, right? There are my midbrain, the ones that are responsible for auditory, even for speech. You see, the totality of the brain is active. So this is the little contributions and the little history we may want to align ourselves with in the history of physiological psychology. And please remember to subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much.